Hello everybody, Krydax here, and welcome back, my peeps, to pYanodon's Season 3. In our last episode, we did, I don't know, all sorts of things. We started, we got glass done, right? That should be running better now. Look at all that juicy molten glass. And now it's just a matter of not enough pure sand, which I can't really do any better for now. So this is where we'll leave glass. I'm sure this is going to be enough over time. It just has to get everything built up, which is going to take a minute. When the base has been short on something for a while, it's probably going to take a few hours to catch everything up. But I have faith. I have faith. All right, so the sand thing seems to be working. We'll see if over time we have enough. Because this isn't enough pure sand, right? It is, if they're all running. Which, they're not. Why are these not both running? Wait, what have I done here? So, yeah, see, I knew I did something wrong. These ones are consuming this belt of output, but so are these ones. I don't know what's happened here, but these need to be long too. Screwed something up. There we go. And this has to go this. Okay. Alright, that should help a little bit with the pure sand problemos. And I'm also curious why... So how much does all of this make? This is making 20 sand? So we should be getting 10 a second on each belt, right? So those two are running. Oh, wait, what? Oh, I screwed something up big time. So there's 1 set, 2 set, 3 set, and then I transfer, and there's only 1 set running that way? Oh, that's the problem. I found the problem. I should be switching after just this one. Of course, that's in the wrong spot. So this should be doing this. Oh gosh, I've gone and done it. So I need these to be 1 tile over like that. Okay. I don't know how that happened. To be perfectly honest, seems like that should have worked properly, but I didn't do that right. Or not that that should have worked properly, but it seems like I should have done that properly the first time. I don't know how I missed cutting something in half. 1 and 3 is not halvesies when dealing with 4. Not in the slightest. Yeah, this ammonia is problematic. It gets easier, potentially. I mean, we could just do the cumene to acetone thing someday, maybe. Because cumene we can get from strip distillates. So 100 strip distillates makes 200 cumene, which would make 400 acetone, which would then distill back down into 200 ammonia. So that would mean strip distillates, 100 strip distillates would still make 200 ammonia. That's pretty crazy. That makes strip distillates pretty strong, and we get absurd amounts of organic solvent as a byproduct. We would use a decent amount, you know, of syngas too, but that's not that expensive. We have made a huge syngas plant, so. Okay, so we were gonna increase boron trioxide next. I also think we could work on another plant uplifting. I think, and I'm not gonna worry about the seaweed. You know what? I do have 3 construction bots. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I do have 3 construction bots, so those construction bots can put stuff into this. And I am gonna need a storage chest in channel 1 here. Because they're not gonna have... Wait, what? Oh... I can't change those to channel 1 unless I connect them. And then I should be able to do this. But then the bots are gonna have nowhere to bring... Oh! Well. Found a bug. Copy paste modules. The ancient mod does not like when you copy the wrong force. Target entity force must be the same as this item request proxy. Interesting. That's a new one. Alright, what did we lose? Probably nothing. Oh no, I hadn't finished fixing this. It looks like I did finish fixing it. Just barely. Okay, perfect. Alright, well, let's go work on increasing boron trioxide. For now... Okay, so I gotta remember, when buildings are on a different logistics channel, don't try copy-paste modules. And I don't really need them to be on a different... What I need to do is just go do that manually. Because I don't want to put the Mark II seaweed onto the network, simply because there's no need, given that we're going to do Mark III seaweed soon. And I don't think they're not used in anything else. So I'll be making the Mark III seaweed, and then we'll make that show up on the network for our seaweed buildings. And then we'll be able to increase our seaweed count by 3, basically triple our seaweed output. Which is going to be a pretty huge deal, because seaweed is what makes, with steam, is what makes biocrud. And we were kind of talking about making biocrud on purpose seemed really expensive, but it'll help a lot. I mean, we're going to need 1 million high pressure furnaces for a lot of biocrud, but it would help with the seaweed part, at least, to triple our seaweed throughput. So that's a thing. Alright. So there's that. Now these are running twice as fast. It's 0.3 of those a second. Probably not enough logistics bots. No, it says we have enough. Speaking of seaweed. What are we doing with seaweed? We might be short on seaweed, actually. We're supposedly making 10.4. Is there a reason I have 4 extra here but not there? And on the rest of them? Is there a reason for that? It feels like there isn't. So I'm going to, make sure that we've got full connections here. Or a full seaweed block. And then imagine all of that with the tier 3 modules, though that is going to be, oh god, 68? Is that the right number? 8 times 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 64. I'm going to have 64 So I need 640 Mark III modules to turn that all into Mark III. That's a lot. That's over 3,000 Mark II modules. It'll take a while. The good news is, though, well, actually there's some bad news first. The bad news is it will fit on one belt. I guess we can do like a stacked belt. Because altogether this is gonna be 10.4 times 3. It's not fully times 3, by the way. It's gonna be not quite 3 because of how modules work. But it'll be about 30 seaweed a second for 600 water. So I will need a second one of these. Let's just do this. And this. Okay. That fixes that. Now on to boron trioxide. So for this guy, we're basically gonna need to bring coke in on a train. Methinks. I'm gonna do this, and we'll fix it. Fix it in post. Where's post? Fix it in post. Is it fixed? Is this just gonna work? I think it will. Problem is gonna be the pipeline. But I should be able to replace those with big boy pipelines. Okay, that should do it. I'm out of construction bots somehow. Despite having 400 of them. What are they all doing? I guess they're all working on the seaweed stuff. Craziness. Let's go add some more into the network. Dude. Where's my auto mall? I need seaweed plants in the first place. Do we have? I think we have all that in the auto mall. I think we can add seaweed plant into our requests. Where am I doing stuff like that? So this is for like bioreactors, incubators, botanical nurseries, microorganism mines. I think this is a good place for seaweed collector. Seaweed crop facility Mark 1. I think I am just going to do one. I don't need them very often. And then grab some bots here, set them free. There's 50 more, up to 452. That should tide me over for a bit. And then one of these is going to be a requester. I'm going to leave the provider one there. We might end up using it, to be honest. I'm actually going to do a straight section here as well. And I'll connect that part up eventually, but not right now. So then the requester, once it's done, will be for coke. And we'll bring that down to here. Uh-oh. Oh, borax has not dried up. That's just the... You know, I might see if I can go accelerate this process. Uh-oh. Oh, that scared me. I thought that train was gonna hit me. Thought we were about to see a collision. Moondrop stage 2 is just about done, so we could start upmarking moondrops. Not that I feel the need for it, but we could. Turn off my bots, but I do want this part to get done. Okay. Are the belts running at least? There we go. These are important belts. Oh, there goes the heavy oil. And then we get tall oil. And drop stage 2 done. Alright, what's ethanol get me? Oh, the biocrud to wastewater. Right. So this... Okay, so didn't we look... Shoot, I might have deleted it. Let's delete this one. I'm not gonna need that anymore. Let's look at... Oops. What's it called? Wait, do I have 2 hotkeys for Helmon? No, I just changed my hotkeys. Okay, what am I looking at? I'm looking at urea. So we're gonna do urea from wastewater, and then we're gonna do urea from blood as 2 different blocks here. And you're gonna do, we'll just say a full belt of urea from biocrud. Where's that one gonna be? That one. Okay. And we're gonna need some of the B-type molasses. And then that means we need 3 A-type molasses in the first place. So we actually use a non-zero amount of tufra here. Shoot. This is more tufra than I think I want to handle. That's already a lot of tufra plantations. Although this is, remember, this is for 15 urea a second. This is for a constant belt. But yeah, this is getting pretty expensive. So to get the tufra we need the tufra plantations to be at what? Like 100? I could use matrix solver probably without it breaking at this point. 140%. 150%, 160%, 170%. Oh my gosh, 171%, 172% to get to neutral there. So that means 72 out of 172 tufras go towards making seeds, is what that means. Anyway, that's all that, and then this is not counting the manure bacteria, which is not free. I mean... It's like 2... Okay, it's not that much, but it's something. Oh, 0.086. Sorry, I thought that was 0.86. Yeah, that's a pretty small amount of cost there. I'm not going to worry about that. And then I'm not going to worry about filtration media. And now we look at biocrud, which really we can't plug in because we can't. Well, wait, can I? Oh, I can. It's in the Helmod section. Beautiful. I love that. Aw, thanks, Helmod. Actually, useful feature there. So now we're looking at 27 seaweed. And I could do channel 2, recipe 2, but that needs a lot. I mean, that's a lot of expensive ingredients compared to just water, right? We're talking CO2, we're talking limestone, we're talking saline water, and not an insignificant amount of those things. 2.7 limestone isn't that bad, right? Yeah, it's only 7 soil extractors. And what are we talking for CO2? And I've got free CO2 like all over the place. But if I were to make it from biocrud or biomass, and 4.5 biomass. Okay. Starting to look slightly less expensive. That's a lot of salt. That's a lot of salt. whole salt mine's worth of salt. Okay, well, it's good to know the cost. So that would be 54 seaweed plants. If I were to, or sorry, no, we need module 3. That's the module we'd be doing. So that would be 20 seaweed crop facilities on that recipe. And if I did the 0 input seaweed, it would be about 50. But then we wouldn't need a salt mine to make all this biomass. Though I could always just... I could just use the biomass from seaweed. Seaweed makes biomass. How much? Seaweed makes 2 biomass a piece. So I could just make 2 per second more. We use less than 10% of the seaweed to make the CO2 for the seaweed. So we could do that if we wanted. Okay. But this is a good exercise to see, like, what is the cost of making urea from nothing, basically, using the wastewater. And there's also a lot of steam in this one that I'm not accounting for right now. A little bit of soil, a little bit of coarse fraction. Okay, that's most of the cost. Now, what if I wanted 15 urea a second from blood? What would that look like? Well, I think the best thing for blood... So an Ulrich is 80 blood, and an Aug is 100 blood. Are Ulrichs easier than Augs? I don't really remember... So here we need about 9 paddocks for 0.33 augs. Here we need 10 paddocks for 0.4 Ulrichs. They're about the same. And Ulrichs have a very expensive cost in Fawoji and Relasia. So Ulrichs are not cheap. The Augs, on the other hand, only need Flora and Moss. So the Augs are definitely more chill. Yeah, the Augs are definitely more chill. So I think Augs are the best way to make blood. There's also cotton guts. But they need Relasia seeds as well, and moon drops. Let's see. What are my other animals that make blood? Corlex? No, that's not going to be a good idea. So cotton guts are like 12 blood apiece. So 8 cotton guts versus 1 Aug. What's 0.33 times 8? It's like more than 2 a second. Yeah, definitely not worth it. Because cotton guts only craft at about, I don't know, actually roughly the same speed as Aug. No, that can't be right. Is that right? 9 Aug plants making a third of an Aug, so we would need about 27 to make 1 Aug a second. And here, we need 32 to make 1.3. Yeah, definitely not. So Augs are definitely the way to make blood. Okay. So if we were doing this route, we would do Aug rendering. Wherever that is. Oh my god. Okay. Looking at it this way makes me think the other way is going to work out better, actually. 45 slaughterhouses? Holy cow. That is kind of absurd. And when do I get the Aug turd? Because that's going to be relevant. It's coming up. So the Aug turd... Interesting. Okay, well... Anyway, let's just do the basic one for now. Okay, so looking at these two... This one has a lot of great byproducts, though. Whereas this one has no byproducts. Number of buildings is actually pretty much equal. So this one doesn't look as bad anymore. That's crazy, especially because we're gonna get better ways to make tufa. And we could use the better seaweed recipe at relatively low cost. The salt is the main cost to that. I'll also probably do tar quenching at some point to get some free saline. We can make saline from multiple sources. I could even be turning excess stone into saline if we really want to. Because that's only 13.5 stone, right? Isn't stone 10 saline a piece? Or is it twice as much? No, it's twice as much. So that would be 27 stone. But, oh, and 54 washers. That feels like something that's worth doing once you have washer Mark II plus beacons or something. And speed beacons. Anyway, this is actually not as bad compared to the other one. So I think at some point I will want to make a wastewater facility. Because this one is nowhere near as good as I thought it was. 45 slaughterhouses is really crazy. But I do want to point out meat to cyanic is a thing soon. Well, sort of soon. It comes at the same time that blood to urea shows up. Manure to nitrogen and guts to acetic acid. Wait, what's acetic acid do? Oh, we need it for red circuits. And it's another option for the casein mixture. Instead of hydrogen chloride. That doesn't really seem worth it. But for zinc acetate, we need that for red circuits, as far as I remember. Anyway, meat to cyanic, we can then do cyanic. No, what is this? Wohler synthesis? A little bit of cyanic and formic goes to a lot of ammonia. Wohler synthesis, which one is this? I wish I could know which. Can I type it in? Oh, it was the Vraukturd. That is a strong Vraukturd upon looking at this further. That is a strong Vraukturd. Because when I looked at this, I don't think I knew about the ammonia. Ammonia to formamide to form it, the formic acid from ammonia, basically. I guess plus sulfuric acid. Ammonia plus sulfuric acid is, I'm ignoring the CO2 cost. Ammonia plus formic, or, oh my gosh, ammonia plus sulfuric acid makes formic acid. So then that means that this Wohler synthesis can get you the formic acid back from this times a million. So this really nets you a ton of formic acid from your cyanic. And then you can make cyanic from ammonia as well with methane and coal. So that actually makes a sustainable loop where for just for all the side ingredients, you can make free ammonia and free formic acid. That's crazy. So you would just need like sulfuric, methane, coal, and carbon dioxide and hydrogen. I might have missed something in there. Oh man, I might be regretting my Vraukturd, though I'm pretty happy about it from when I chose it, but like looking at this now, Wohler synthesis might have been the truth. Because yeah, then we're doing $60 cyanic to make 350 ammonia. And we need 60 of that ammonia. to recreate the cyanic. So that's really only 290 ammonia. And then we need 60 methane and 12 coal. So this is really 60 methane, 12 coal, 300 hydrogen, and 30 formic acid. And the 30 formic acid comes from comes from 30 ammonia and 30 CO2 and 15 sulfuric acid, which we already would get. We already get the 30 CO2 exactly, so that works out. So we're talking 15 sulfuric acid, 30 what was the other fluid we needed? Oh, 30 more ammonia. So we would just take another 30 off of the 290. So we're looking at this net's 260. So 60 methane. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. That's really strong. Kind of wish I had done that now. Anyway, back to what we can do with cyanic. Not much, but meat to cyanic will be useful at some point, is an important note, but at least for now we're not needing to do a million things with it. Okay, I might have some regrets. When do I get this? Oh, of course, pi3 science. Oh, right. No, I maybe I don't have regrets, because this is another great way. This is another great way for mass ammonia, and that's in Kimsai. Kimsai is very far away, don't get me wrong. But it's not like the rest of the game far away. So I think I'm maybe okay with this. Alright, sorry, I got super distracted there. It's part of what the Zen Garden's all about. Alright, Coke. Coke, I'm not worried about my supply. Let's just go with 30 stacks is kind of my gold standard now. We should probably filter it. Not split filters, though. Okay, and then we're gonna bring that down. You know, I actually... Let me just do it this way. Bring it down here, don't get run over. Success. Okay. Now this is crazy. Is this how I should be making graphite? Honestly, it's already set up, but I could just use this coke now if I wanted to. Okay, but here's coke, and we can just completely remove this raw coal now. Oh god. You know what? I need to purge my inventory of some crap here. Somehow we got a lot of extras in there from when I manually deconstructed stuff. The 138 logistics bots are gonna have their hands full for a while with my trash slots. But I do feel more comfortable with trashing stuff now because I can stand in one place for a long time. Previously, I was always running around on trains and stuff because I was building everything manually. But now that I'm building more things, not manually. Okay, why don't I do... We're gonna need, like, way more Dibberane. So why don't I do that up here? And where's the hot air going? I don't even know what this is. We're connecting this. Okay, well, let's just connect across midline here. Okay, and then down and over. Okay, then I can remove all these little bits. Little bits. Alright, so these need a hydrogen input and a belt input. I don't know how many we're gonna need. 7. Can I interest you in 8? Eight electrolyzers. Going once, going twice. Alright, and then as far as outputs and stuff, do that, and then belt of stuff, 1.42 a piece, so we need 2 inserters, power pole. 2 inserters and a power pole, walk into a bar. Sounds like a bad joke setup. Alright. Alright, it's you guys' job in the comments to come up with the punchline for that. Wait, what did I do? Why are these misaligned? What the heck? How did I manage that? Oh, actually, you know what? I actually don't know how I managed that. My flabs are gasted. I don't know what happened here. Did I just fat finger it in the first place? I don't know. I didn't build these before I shifted it all over, did I? I don't think so. Anyway, do I really not have electrolyzers in the auto mall? Because that would be hard for me to believe. I think I really don't have electrolyzers in the auto mall. Super weird. Get that fixed. Okay, so this is gonna get me 171 Diberain. Enough. What I don't know is if I'm gonna have enough hydrogen. Okay, so there's the Diberain, and then one of these consumes 50 Diberain. And so we're gonna need 4 boric acid makers. Make sure power is connected through there so I don't screw anything up. Alright, boron trioxide, coming for you. And then should I rely on this guy still, or should we do something else? Boron trioxide, what all is it used for? Wee rough, what is it really used for? Quartz tubes, which I'm not gonna need until I do something with bio oil. What is this? In Pi 3 we get a better HCl recipe, I guess. Yeah, we keep 90% of the lamp instead of 10% of the lamp, and we get the full quartz tube back at 100%. It's interesting it doesn't use, like, you know, 0.5% of a quartz tube or something. This is just a straight improvement as long as we have enough quartz tubes to get started. Those are turd recipes. Mutagenic injection equipment. That's somewhere in chem science. And it's not used for anything. So that's like equipment for me. And then whatever an LFR panel is that you use for like the crazy sun solar dishes stuff. Okay, so I'm not gonna need that anytime soon. Otherwise, boron trioxide mostly just goes to making these polycrystalline cells. That's a chem-sci thing. Boron carbide is used in Mark 3 and 4 buildings, so that's nothing anytime soon. That's a chem-sci thing. And boron trioxide dust. Okay. So we're not gonna need any of this anytime soon, is the bottom line. And these just need dibberane and water. So let's get rid of these trees. And do this. 2, 3, 4. 4. And then boom, 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 boom. Water, 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 water. How much water? We talking 1,000 a second. Jeez. Though I think 3 will be enough because we don't actually have the full amount. Okay, so there's water. Get rid of the ones I have in my inventory. And there we go, boric acid. Don't we need that for something else? Yeah, boric acid is actually used in a lot of things. I'm pretty sure it's used in something for red circuits. I don't know exactly what, though. But we might need to actually pipe this boric acid up to the trains at some point, so we'll keep that in mind. And then the final step for boron trioxide was high pressure furnaces? I already forgot. Produce 1 million ash is an achievement? That's amazing. Wait, there are custom achievements? Why is that the green circuit icon? Why didn't we unlock our first turd upgrade? What? Wait, are these new? I didn't know you could have custom achievements. That's amazing. That's gotta be new, right? I think that's new. If it's not, I'm shook. Straight shooken. Shooketh. Okay, what do we got here? So up to 1,000 boric would be an absurd amount of high pressure furnaces. Okay, so we're gonna need like a double toil and trouble situation here. So the input is coke, 1 coke to 1 boron trioxide. So 1 belt of coke, 1 belt of boron trioxide, 2 sets of furnaces, all gas. And then boron trioxide will go up. T-junction, that's not T-junction. T-junction, turn a corner, and we'll have one of these guys, and we'll have coke in, boron trioxide out. Okay, coke in there, down to here, boron trioxide out. And then another power pole. And then I don't even know how many sets of these I need, but it's a lot. Eats a lot. And then we need more bot coverage. Let's start with 12. Yeah, that's about right. I really lose anything by doing 2 more sets? Not really. Let's do that. Make sure power is connected up through. I don't think we just messed up any. No, we didn't. Any of the whatchamacallits. fluid pipelines. That's, I guess, the word I'm looking for. All right, so there's that. Lamps along the way. All right, that should do it. Need some power for these guys. Baby, you got a stew going. I don't know if I'm making this much hydrogen. Yeah, we are, actually. Believe it or not. And I will rely on Mr. Caravan to keep moving our large quantities of boron trioxide. Sweet. Okay. So mass boron trioxide is done, and that should be everything we need for our optical sets and our glassware. I mean, we're not going to be making 5 glassware a second anytime soon, but we don't need 5 glassware a second, thankfully. So, okay, that is the only, and we're using hot air for everything, as we should be. We've never run out of hot air yet, by the way. We've been able to keep up, but we have gotten up to 100 a minute, or 100 a minute. Yeah, drop a 0, divide by 6. Yeah, 100 a second is what I meant to say. And I think our production is only for 100 a second, right? What's our hot air production support? 150 a second. I'm still okay. You know what I should do? Given how large our buffer is, I actually feel like it's reasonable to add in an alarm for this. Oh, hold on. Easier to just measure the one. Ooh, interesting. It removed the wire when I moved the entity ghost. Hot air, make sure it's the actual fluid, is less than, I don't know, I think if we're less than like 20,000, that means we've probably used too much. No sound, no alert. And we can pipette the icon, makes that easy. All right, and boron trioxide just finished all the belts, and here it's flowing at full speed ahead. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, they've been changing a lot of the caravan stuff. I don't like that schedule and cargo are separate. I really liked the cargo being shown at the same time as the schedule. I'm not a fan of that change. I like it showing your character inventory as well, but like I don't like that you can only look at one or the other. Because then it's extra clicks. Hiding information behind extra clicks should only be done if it's absolutely necessary, right? Showing more information with one click, just clicking on the caravan and you see its cargo is what you want. But now, not only is it an extra click, but it's a small click, right? You have to click on a small button that like is in a very specific part of the screen, which is in a different part of the screen than wherever the caravan was, right? The caravan might be here, you click on it, oh, you can't see what it's holding, you gotta move the mouse all the way to here and click it. That's not a great mechanic in my opinion. So, if any Pi devs are watching this, I'd prefer that to be changed back. There might be great reasons for it, so like I'm not saying that it's necessarily the right choice to change it back. I'm just saying that there is a downside to the change that was made that may not have been fully considered. It's a pretty big user interface backslide. Like, it's a downgrade to have to click to see the cargo. And I just hope it was done for reasons that made that worth it, is my summary of that. So what are these actually running out of? Is water the issue here? Because these make a full 171. I guess here, we can find out. This is what production rates extreme is for. Wait, this isn't clear. So what do I not have enough of? Oh, there it is, 2.86 water thingies. So even if all 8 of these are running, we are only using 2.86 pump jacks. So we should be limited then by Boron, not water. Which, I'm confused then. Oh, is the Boron slowly draining? That's what it is. Yeah, pretty soon we'll be limited by Boron then. One of these will not be filling up with Boron soon. Right? That's what that has to mean. Yeah, I saw it for a brief moment. I thought one of them had less than 200 Boron. Because according to this, we should have more water than we need. Only by a little bit though, so that's why it's taking a while, I think. There it is. Yep, it's okay, there we go. As expected. Alright, sweet. Well, huge amounts of boron trioxide are now ours to command. Let's get a little screenshot of this whole thing. And yeah, from here, don't need to do anything else with that. I guess we can work on Vraux next. I don't really know if I need Vraux. So it might... Is it a bad idea to work on them right now? I don't think I need them for anything. I'm not using chitin, right? I don't think I'm using chitin for anything. Nope. I haven't touched it for hours, and I'm guessing that was just trashing it. And the only other thing that we needed Vraux for was the formic acid, which we're now making with ammonia. So the only reason to make Vraux would be to support formic acid production. And is that worth it? Maybe. So with Vraux food, we had already set all this up. This is with tier 2 Vraux and the turret already plugged in. We would need 18 paddocks, 5 repro complexes, and then the food we are calculating here. It's not crazy, but it's not nothing. It's not crazy, but it's not nothing. Interesting. To get 100 formic acid a second, which would replace 100 ammonia a second. Yeah. I guess the question is it easier to do this, or is it easier to do... let's see, how much ammonia do we get from urea? 100 ammonia is 20 urea. Okay, so this is harder then. So my summary then for this is all of my hard work was for naught? Didn't we do a bunch of things to set up for this? Not really. It was the org solve that required all the setup. That's what it was. It was the org solve from acetone Or was it? Yeah, because then I needed syngas, and that's what led me down the bitumen chain, I think. This part, I don't think I took many extra steps for, because that's just ammonia in the first place. I think I might have set up some extra sulfuric acid for that. Yeah, but we needed extra sulfuric acid anyway. We need it for all sorts of stuff. So I think what I'm getting at here is we save sulfuric and ammonia by making Vraux, and those are both in relatively short supply. Now, I will note the Fawoji turd, I need to be done with this episode. The Fawoji turd, I saw some people talking about it, and so I at least know that this one, there is an option. I don't think I would want to do that one. That doesn't seem that great. You get 50% more Fawoji for the additional cost of nitrogen contaminant, which is easy to make, right? The nitrogen contaminant, we get 3 times as much in the DDC recipe as the regular nitrogen, so it's pretty fast. We're talking 12 a second from 1 DDC, so that's pretty good. Anyway, I was looking at the turd. But yeah, this is the one that I think we want to do. I mean, 2 sulfur to 250 acid gas, and only 50 oxygen, and only 2 Fawoji. The amount of Fawoji we need is nothing. It does require, weirdly, a Xeno codex to make. So it makes it more expensive to upmark Fawoji. Interesting. It makes it like a lot more expensive. That's a huge cost later. For every single roll, you need an additional Xeno codex, which is 50 circuits. Holy crap. That is a pretty huge cost. That is not to be trifled with. So here's what I'm thinking. And this isn't cheating. What's the other one? What I'm thinking, oh, just activated carbon. Right, I remember seeing people talk about that. It also makes it consume more energy. I can probably ignore that. I don't think Fawoji is ever going to be a huge energy cost on my base. What is this desulfurization unit thing? What's that all about? Oh, it also makes Fawoji even faster. I don't understand the desulfurization unit part. What's the original recipe? It doesn't have an alternative recipe. What? Does that just unlock it in case you didn't have it already? Is that all that that's doing? I think that's all that's doing. I think this is just a secondary unlock because that runs in the desulfurization unit. Maybe it's possible to get to this research without having researched desulfurization units. Interesting. Anyway, this is probably the one we'll go with, but what I'm thinking is we'll upmark the Fawoji first. So we'll get our Mark II running. And that way we don't need to make... Because, I mean, how many would we need on average? For this one, we would need 200 Xeno codices on average per Fawoji Mark II. And the reproductive cycle needs... how many does it need? 1 Mark II makes 5 spores, 10 spores makes a guaranteed 2. So we need 2 Fawoji Mark II. So that's 400 Xeno codices expected, which is 400 times 5 is 2,000, plus another 0 is 20,000 simple circuits. That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. 20,000, and that's just the expected value. It could be, you could end up spending 40,000 or 60,000. How many circuits a second do I even make? Well, I think I'm backed up on them, but I think I can make 1 a second now. 2.5 a second. So 20,000 would be over 3 hours of dedicated circuit production. Yeah, that's kind of nuts. I'm definitely gonna try to upmark Fawoji. So let's beeline that research, and we'll, or sorry, no, Fawoji Mark II. Oh, I already have it. Okay, perfect. So that'll be our next task. We'll upmark Fawoji, and then Seaweed Mark III will get done next. We could also look at the Seaweed Turd. We could work towards SAP Stage 3 as well. For Stage 2, doesn't look too bad. Phosphoric acid, never mind. The breeding program's not too bad though. I could start that. Malaysia Stage 2 I think will be very nice. In fact, I want that probably before. And we'll wait on the seaweed upgrade. I don't even know what options we have there. Alright, we're gonna call that an episode. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one.